Dr. Khadar needs no introduction. He is as it is self-evident that he's been working for the last 20 years trying to heal people, heal and truly cure people, not just manage conditions, but take them to a state of complete healing and natural homeostasis, right? So uh, he's a PhD in biochemistry. He has a PhD and he's a homeopath, and he has a deep understanding of body's physiological processes, and he's been working tirelessly, ceaselessly, with no expectations in return, just trying to help people. And a lot of his protocols are out there, distributed freely, whereas they should be. He would be like probably the richest man in the world on planet by now, right? With the knowledge that he has. So, and I truly feel fortunate that he has taken out the time for us today, and hopefully we will implore him that we can have these sessions on a regular basis wherein people can come and ask him questions. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I'm sure everybody joins me in this when I say this, that we are very thankful and grateful to you that you have taken out time for us. So I don't want to speak too much. We will keep in touch. I have a group, and Dr. Khader has a lot of other, like Dr. Sarla's group, his daughter's um, YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that. All the information is being distributed through these channels. So, with that, welcome, Dr. Khader.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, yeah. I will not take much time. I will only speak briefly for 20 minutes or so. Then we will spend more time on question and answers. Uh, Basically, I would speak in a very concise manner. The present day system is sabotaged. I am consciously using the word sabotaged by this Western allopathic world, and the proof of what I'm speaking is this Corona COVID situation. You see, we in India, many alternative systems, we have been helping these so-called corona positive cases left and right, and each day for the last 4 months we have been healing hundreds of these cases in many different alternative ways. And of course, a lot of jokes have also been propagated by the so-called main established allopathic world. And oh, drink kashayams and you are all right. No, ginger kashayam doesn't get you out, and all that kind of jokes have been cut by the so-called doctors. But after having gone through their protocols of 14 days quarantine and taking vitamin C, zinc tablet, this tablet, that tablet, all that, and then they declare you as corona negative, and people continue to have a lot of issues, including breathing trouble, not able to comprehend properly, not able to communicate properly. All these issues are cropping up, and we have been able to completely heal hundreds of these kinds of cases too. And just three decoctions of and many people think you have to heat yourself, take warm steam. All those things are not going to help in a long run. It is the internal strength of taking care of all the so-called infections, be it virus, be it bacteria, pathogenic bacteria, pathogenic viruses. That is what is called immunity. And God has given us a wonderful system of bone marrow wherein you produce your blood along with immunoglobulins of various different varieties, and they give you the immediate protection, long-term protection. All kinds of systems are developed in our body. And instead of working to strengthen that, and instead of keeping ourselves immune strong, we have been running around on at the behest of these Western scientific, in quotes, processes, to a vaccine that doesn't exist, and spending all the money and wasting time and killing people. Uh, I am very clear about these statements because the whole world is sabotaged by this system of thinking and making everyone run around, including places in India. We have been absolutely taken for granted by these so-called organizations, and including our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, is not spending enough time and energy in exploring the alternative methods of dealing with this present crisis, which is a sad thing to happen, because I understand in America it doesn't happen. I don't see why in India it should not happen. But it is happening that we have also been taken. Yeah, this is something very serious, and because this system is actually doing the same thing for, someone is same thing for chronic problems also, like diabetes, cancer, immune problems, autoimmune diseases. All these things are happening because we have chosen our food in a wrong way at the behest of the same corporate companies who are deciding to the human race what all of us should be eating and what all of us should be thinking. And this is another important reason why we have been having scientific myths being propagated in the name of protein, in the name of fat, in the name of all kinds of things. But in a true sense, if we are living in a sustainable fashion on this planet, there should have been no diseased conditions existing in such a large amount of people. So this is the problem we are facing right now. And this is the background in which we need to understand how we can get out of this situation. And still there is a possibility of doing well and getting us out of this horrible, unhealthy conditions. And what I am trying to communicate to you is that we are all living in a very, very unscientific and unhealthy condition, including the so-called developed countries, Europe and America. And you need to accept that there is a problem, and the problem is very serious. It is because of not doing things right. And we all need to work towards creating awareness as to what we need to be eating, how to be eating, and what not to be eating. So the present day problems are the food that we are growing and the way we are growing, and creating not only the food crisis, not only the health crisis, not only the villages and people having a lot of problems, and also creating global environmental issues. And the present day human race is not acknowledging. The problems are now going out of hands, out of science, and then they are becoming slowly and steadily a political and then regional, and all these kinds of problems have crept in. But then the Western thought process is controlling the whole planet as to what to eat and what not to eat. And this is the problem that we are facing. So we need to actually depend on sustainable growth patterns, and local and regional food patterns have to be encouraged. And that is the most scientific way of doing things or living on this planet. And presently that system is slowly getting eroded, because right now I travel to a remote village in India and people are encouraged to eat pizza and burgers, which is absolute nonsense. And the diseases that they are getting are because of the food they are eating. So why am I talking all these issues? Because everything is connected. So if I want to heal someone, the point is that the person who is sick has to understand all these issues in to some extent or the other. So see, the patient that we talked before has got problem of eating millets because they are not used to. The names do not sound familiar. The food that I am trying to communicate does not sound familiar because we have lost touch with natural cooking methods. We all have to understand that we have moved too much distance from natural things, and that is the source of our problems. That is the source of our problems. And I have been trying to communicate to people that we need to move back, and we still have time, and we still can get back to the system of sustainable living, and then we all can be healthy, and there need not be this much havoc in our health condition. And we have successfully shown in large numbers there have been many followers of this particular lifestyle, and we extend just not food and the way we live. For example, corona. How do we get out of corona? It is as simple as this. If you can take care of three main aspects of our food: vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, it directly controls your immune system. So, if you, not that other things are not important, but these are the basic pillars of creating good immune strong people. So, you need to concentrate. Of course, Linus Pauling, the great man, has told long back that vitamin C is very, very important, and not in large quantities, in small quantities. What does vitamin C mean? It's all these organic alpha acids like ascorbic acid, citric acid, gallic acid, protocotocheic acid, tartaric acid, oxalic acid, all these sour acids that are present in natural materials that you need to encourage the people to take part in small quantities on a regular basis. Vitamin C is taken care of. Vitamin D, which is very naturally available in sunlight, your body makes from cholesterol to, and you need to expose yourself to the sun. And people in the northern hemisphere have to be in the sun between 11 a.m. and maybe 1 or 2 p.m. because the brightness and the angle of the sun rays is different in the northern hemisphere compared to tropics and subtropics. So in tropics and subtropics, the best time to get vitamin D is the sunrise time and sunset time. The orange color, we call it kashaya color. So if you expose yourself for 15 to 20 minutes on a daily basis, you get your vitamin D synthesized naturally and get tucked away in the liver. And then the best metabolic activities of this immune building systems can go on from there on smoothly. And next, vitamin B, which is actually directly connected to the health of your gut microbes. So we should be aware that we need to be replenishing our microbes on a daily basis, but present day food habits have been doing just the opposite. In the name of making meat, using soya and corn, and using a lot of antibiotics and steroids, you are making meat. And just consuming meat can cause microbial imbalance in your guts. And that's what has happened all over Europe and America and many parts of the world. Whoever is eating meat that is made unnaturally, not that meat naturally made also creates the same problem, because they do contain these kinds of chemicals that actually does not encourage the microbes in your gut. So, and it is the vegetables and the grains and then the fermented products which encourage the probiotics and build a symbiotic living, and a host of different variety of microbes are encouraged to coexist in your gut. And that's what can give you the B complex, which is another important aspect of building immunity. So if you can take care of these three issues, no corona will bother you. Not only corona, yet another virus, which can be much more dangerous, will also be completely powerless in front of immune strong bodies. And that's exactly what we should be teaching and what we should be gearing up to educate people all around the planet right now. Right now, this is the right opportunity to do such things. And in this regard, we have actually released information about it in the handbook of Corona, which we will make available with through Chavi Chavala, handbook of Corona. In this regard, there are 3 decoctions that are actually universally available all around the world. You can find these plants, Artemisia vulgaris, Nyctanthus arbortristis, and Tinospora cardifolia. These 3 decoctions, just boil them in boiling water for 3-4 minutes and then filter and make it lukewarm. Lukewarm, I mean around 95 degrees Fahrenheit, not more than that. So you can happily consume. It should be just lukewarm. Don't drink very hot decoctions, as many people are used to drinking coffee and tea, very hot coffee, hot tea. Never ever drink hot coffee, hot tea. That's absolutely can cause autoimmune problems and make your immunity completely compromised. So please get rid of coffee and tea from your daily routines completely. Zero coffee and tea, and zero milk, zero sugar. So all these are immune compromising products, and that's how people are suffering. So if you can just eliminate these materials and incorporate these wonderful natural decoctions, which actually build immunity. So that's all that you need to do. So simple. And the information has to be passed on, and all people, see, now people are saying they will get vaccines. After getting vaccine, say you have got a vaccine which works, which is absolutely not going to be possible. And the logistics of distributing this vaccines itself is a huge task which cannot be performed on this planet right now. And there is a big mess that is going to be created even if there is a vaccine. The logistics, the economics, all these are going to be bottlenecks for anyone to reach anywhere. But if you have the right information as to how you can become immune strong, and reaching the information is as simple as this, especially with the present day so-called gadgets that we have, this communication and information technology. It's such an easy job. In fact, that's how I'm able to communicate with you guys right now. I mean, you're across the globe. So this is how we need to mitigate the problems, and spending time by the scientists to create an awareness and information and the protocols that can be translocated in a short span of time, and creating the materials that are present locally and giving the opportunity for all the human race to become healthy. And that's what we have been trying to communicate and work towards that goal. And the naturalists in different parts of the world can start working very simply based on our protocols. They don't need to do a lot of work. They just have to figure out the families of the plants that we have figured here in India, and accordingly the mapping is very simple in nature. So you follow the family information, you will get to the decoctions that you need to be presenting to your locality people from the plants that are available. And we have done that efficiently. When I visited America, we have created that kind of, and so each local and regional specific decoctions can be evolved in a matter of 2 to 3 months, not much time. So the whole world can become very easily strengthened in terms of these habits and change of materials. And believe me, many patients have this problem switching food to that food, and it is not that difficult. Lot of good, wonderful cooking recipes we have been working with, and each and every local and regional people have to do the same thing and figure out to make tasty food with millet-based recipes. Very simple. So the system is in place, and it is for the human race to embrace the information and start working towards The goal of the human race being well and sustainable living models are very well worked out in many parts of the world, and many people are working feverishly towards that goal. And I'm one of them. Maybe I have got most of the issues figured out, and it is that information we are trying to present through the protocols and PDFs that are freely available for everyone on this planet. And another important issue is that it is not just that the information is available, we are trying to develop the natural means and procedures such that people can identify and do things in their own spaces that they are living in, be it California, be it Alaska. It's a matter of figuring out what they can do and what they cannot do in the particular local and specific areas. And see, for example, I will give you vitamin D. What if we do not have sun? And people have developed techniques. They, in such places where there is no sun, luckily nature gives wonderful varieties of mushrooms, and the mushrooms can be exposed to the sun whenever the sun is available. Imagine there's only 1 month of time that there is sun available on this northern hemisphere, some particular countries. So in that 1 month, you can dry these mushrooms and keep them, store them for year long. And once you consume these mushrooms, your vitamin D is taken care of. And unluckily, we have created, the whole world is working feverishly in this AC rooms and the software companies. And more than half the population of the planet is now not getting enough sun. And most of us are vitamin D deficient. That's why we are seeing these immune compromised bodies falling prey to these kinds of viruses. In fact, corona is not a very serious virus. It is very inefficient virus, actually. And there may be much more powerful and stronger viruses that are coming on our way. So it's better we prepare ourselves to be strong. And thank God Corona has come, because it is weak. We can make ourselves have a lesson and then learn from this and be prepared for a virus that is going to be stronger than this Corona. So in India, there is always a saying, anything happens, it happens for our good. And maybe it is preparing for us to face a stronger virus. And I hope people learn their lessons and start looking towards the natural methods rather than chasing something that doesn't exist. Like now all the governments are waiting for a vaccine that doesn't exist, which is a stupid thing to do, according to me. Anyway, so this is, I'm going to summarize again. So we have actually not talked about the base food, that is the millets. What do they do? Why they are so good? The simple reason is that they control the glucose release into our body. And that has been the bane of present day modern food materials that are chosen not by its scientific merit, but due to the commercial aspects of these food materials to be grown. Basically, rice, wheat, sugarcane, and soybean and corn are all the materials that are used to produce meat and whatever materials that we are eating. So these are all connected to the World War times, and wherein we had this enormous amount of bomb material that has to be discarded. But funnily, one of the scientists or few scientists made the fertilizers from these bomb materials, and that same saga continues. And now we are producing too many tons of fertilizers, because this war, the concept of war continues to exist, and the countries all over the world continue to make bomb materials, and the war does not happen all over every time. So the bomb materials had to be diffused, and the materials used by the new bombs are to be made, because they are not sure whether the old bombs will work in the real wartime. So they keep updating and then diffusing the earlier material. and then they are siphoning it up into making fertilizers. But then that concept has stopped because now fertilizers have become very important, and people have figured out how to make fertilizers from raw materials of the refinery industry, and then it is a recycling of the waste and then creating something value added material. So this kind of commercial entities connected to one to the other, starting from war, then the refinery industry, the stuff, a refinery industry converted to different materials and then converted to food. And then we are eating all these chemicals, all the chemical based food, and I call it industrial food culture, which is completely encouraged by this big corporate world. And then we are all made to believe that that is the food and you can eat whatever you want. And then pharmaceutical companies build upon themselves and start feeding the tablets, again the chemicals in the form of so-called health industry, and creating a big mess of things. And this is the present day scenario, why there are so many sicknesses on this planet. The so-called developed countries are developing so-called sophisticated healthcare systems where there is no health at all, absolutely zero health. They are all trying to manage the ill health or sickness, and the call itself as health industry. Basically, you can call it very simple terms, sickness industry. So you are managing the sicknesses and creating more sicknesses, nothing else. So it is MRIs, CAT scans, this scan, that scan. This is only show off of technology, but you are not doing anything connected to health, because health is from within and it is connected to many other aspects of human existence, including a human being wandering in a wonderful natural setup of a forest can give you enormous boost of immune strength. So all these issues are connected, and present day human race being sabotaged by this Western allopathic or whatever you call the biological systems, everything is sabotaged by this way of thinking. Instead of going internally and making ourselves strong and being well, we are looking out into technologies and different kinds of chemicals, which is absolute wrong way. You are barking on a wrong tree. That is the problem. So let's all understand these basic mistakes we have done in the last 40, 50 years, and then get back to the natural means and methods of being well and holistic. And this has an enormous important outreach, because we can then solve the problem of food crisis, sustainable methods, and then including global warming can be set right. So all these important big problems are connected to our food and food only. This is the message I want to communicate. It is how we are eating and how we are producing our food. And if you correct this, 90% of the planet's problem will disappear. Thank you. Thank you, Chavi Chawla and Raju Garu, for me having provided this platform to express and communicate my findings in the last 20, 30 years. We have been working feverishly in trying to help people. And I want to also declare and claim that we have found a lot of success stories. And I personally believe that it's a matter of time that these models have to be copied all over the world, and then we can actually establish a sense of well-being on this planet. And I dream of that day wherein our great grandsons and daughters speak that, oh, our great grandfathers had cancer or had diabetes, because by then the human race would have eliminated all these problems. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That is such an awesome note to end on. We dream with you, Dr. Khadar, and we will spread this dream. We will spread this dream guided by your hand. And thank you so much. And you should not be thanking. We thank you. And like I said, we want you again on this platform. There is almost 100 people right now on the, here listening to you. So I want to jump into, I know you were very short on time, just few questions. There is Dishna, you can speak now, please unmute. She has a condition called mast cell activation syndrome with atypical anaphylaxis, which is baffling doctors. You know, Corona-19, which you say is a weak virus, is baffling everybody. There are conditions that are baffling our so-called scientists, and they don't understand. And you truly understand that vision. And we are also now trying to align our understanding, our vision, so we can see like you. So hopefully we'll get there. So Deshna, would you like to speak now
Yeah.
and ask?
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for the speech. And what I have is called mast cell activation syndrome. And anything when I get an attack, I can be allergic atypically to anything. When I had in 2017 the worst attack, I was allergic to water also. So every time I took water, my tongue would swell up and my throat would swell up. And uh, luckily, the aspirin is what controls it. Baby aspirin controls it. It doesn't seem to be healthy or unhealthy. It just randomly, like even when I got allergic to water, I was not allergic to Diet Coke, which was, I thought, very strange. And so, I mean, I'm struggling with this and I don't know, and I'm afraid to try new things also. um, but trying to figure, because it's mostly under control at the moment, but when it happens, I have to carry EpiPen everywhere, because in matter of minutes I can die. And then the other thing is that it also attacks the body.
She
So
slept
my
for
blood
2 hours.
pressure goes very high, and blood tablets cannot control when I get a attack, and the pulse goes very high. Kidneys get affected, liver gets affected, and everything gets affected, and it goes back to normal, but it does affect when the attack happens.
Yeah, please do follow the there is a protocol, autoimmune diseases, especially you have so-called SLE or HIV protocols, wherein the immune systems are completely confused there. It's not a immune compromise, but it is immune system is being confused. So you need to, of course, even water, it's not the water that is problem, but water actually basically connects itself to some particular larger molecules wherein your autoimmune system is completely confused. So that happens in particular times, and particular times it doesn't happen. So these are all funny kinds of situations wherein you have problem, but you can follow the protocol in the protocol list that we have updated. uh, Follow HIV protocol. Forget, don't think you have HIV, okay? But that comes into that particular protocol system. You can follow those regularly and keep your medicine along with you. But as you follow this for 6 months to 1 year, you will eliminate most of your such attacks completely.
Okay, there is one question. Somebody is asking, my brother is suffering from adenocarcinoma, GE junction, cancer stage 4.
Which part of it is affected? Is a lungs problem? What is it?
That is not mentioned. So whoever wrote this
Yeah,
down, can you
yeah,
please?
basically there are 23 or 24 cancers that are mentioned in our protocol. Ask them to figure out which part of it or which organ is suffering more, and they can shift to that particular protocol.
Okay, is there a cure for type 1 diabetes?
Yeah, we have had many people, many kids completely out of insulin, and they are living normally, eating our millets, and then now and then if something happens, they come and attend to our clinic and we take care of it.
Valentina, are you there? There was a Italian, her son
Yeah,
had some tumor in her wrist. So I
yeah.
asked her, but I don't know if she's there. So the doctors haven't been able to, they haven't been able to figure out whether, the surgery is required. They say after 1 year they'll do surgery, but because otherwise it'll develop arthritis. So I don't see.
Is it lipoma or something like that, or
I'm not sure.
fibroneuromatous?
He was supposed to be
Yeah.
on
Okay.
this,
Good.
but it's okay.
No, no
Maybe
problem.
it's another time. Let's move on to the
Yeah.
next. So, how to take care of osteoarthritis in different joints of the body naturally?
Oh, that's a simple problem. Just not eat too much protein to start with. Within 3 days, you will see the difference in your pain content of the pain or deepness of the pain will start vanishing. And then you eat the foxtail millet and brown top millet 2 days, and I have protocol very clearly mentioned. And so even if you don't get the decoctions there, you can actually have pudina, that is mint, and coriander leaves and people leaves. All these things help a lot, and it's a very simple problem. Many people suffer with this, and so eat less protein, eat more of vegetables and millets, especially foxtail millet and brown top millet will work very wonders for many people. Absolutely. And sesame seed is an important aspect of this treatment protocol. Please follow the protocol. It is very, very simple.
Somebody's just written.
Yeah, just to complete the thing is, see, the people who have been suffering with it for the last 15 years, taking steroids and their joints being twisted and turned and not able to get up from the bed, even to that extent people reach. That kind of cases, maybe more than hundreds, thousands maybe, have been now walking regularly for 1 hour and having no problems at all in the last 15 years. We have so many cases just following the protocol.
Yeah. So the diet for type 1 diabetes, millets is fine. Somebody's just.
Absolutely.
And so this one's saying that I'm suffering from venous insufficiency and my skin color is changing and ulcers probably are going to start, and is interested in knowing homeopathic medicines for ulcers to prevent ulcers.
I cannot tell because each individual patient has to be specifically attended to, and there is no general homeopathic medicines for skin decoloration and ulcers. If it is varicose veins, and most of it is connected to veins problems, and they express themselves as ulcers, you can follow the varicose veins protocol. Most of your problems will be solved. I can deal with food and then tell you the way you need to correct yourself. But then if you want homeopathic medicines, it's a different ball game. You need to sit, talk to the patient. It is a individual specific medical system. So you need to get into the details of individuals and figure out. So yeah, overall I can tell, but it's not the right way to do homeopathy.
So there is a 5-year-old person there who has a 5-year-old son and who has a high power of astigmatism and a twitch in the eye. He wears glasses.
Yeah, there is a protocol for eyes. Just follow that. Very simple.
Okay. Then is there something for knock knees, flat foot, when you have, flat feet, knock knees?
Yeah. There are certain things. Of course, it's important. In certain cases, you need to approach a good homeo doctor. Yeah, knock knees, flat feet, and pigeon chest. All these are cases which cannot be healed through just changing the food because they have been disturbed while being taking birth, and some genetic issues also come into picture. But then even genetic conditions will be helped through the food slowly and steadily. So overnight results cannot be achieved. And to hasten the process, you do need homeopathic medicines for some particular kinds of disorders. So it's with the combination of naturopathy and homeopathy and some other alternative things, we can get a better life for these kinds of disorders. Yes, we have had a lot of cases of knock knees, flat foots, pigeon chest being helped in our clinic. Yes.
And there is sometimes they say that when you're sitting on the chair and your feet are dangling, they sort of go to sleep, right? So is that something, indication of something?
Yeah, basically nervous disorders are getting set in, and so the system is running into deep disorders. Right. See, if the problems are nervous related, the disease is not just happening now. It's happening through a period of time. And slowly these diseases evolve and the system is fighting it out as much as possible. So, yeah, I do agree there is need for some expert advice of a homeopathy doctor in these conditions. And see, it's a sad thing that the West has not allowed these alternative systems to develop, and they are actually killing it, killing all the alternative systems. And it is not that they are killing in their own land, they are killing elsewhere also. Even in India, these alternative systems are being slowly and steadily uh,
Sidestep.
getting destroyed. Yes, yes. See, this is an example. See, there is an Ayush department in India. Many Ayush doctors have claimed that they have cleared C positive to C negative, but no one is talking about it. This is not encouraged by the policymakers, and that is the sad story.
Yes, so recently you shared this article about nano green, and you said that lignans are even better, right?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely,
do you want
absolutely.
to mention this to them, like that nanoswan NSB? The article was published in the periodical.
Yeah. See, it's only again trying to commercialize it. See, once you make it into a product, then it becomes a commercialized product. And we have already ready-made things in millets, the same process, the same mechanism. I guess I have sent you the article, and the same thing is happening with our food. And so we have done this 20 years ago, the same thing that they are talking now in the form of making nanoparticle based, whether it is gold or whether it is some other metal. You are basically trying to conjugate them with these particular wonderful lignin type of molecules. Am I right? It is actually one of them is from the mango peel, and
Yes,
which are basically lignon structures. So we have thought about all this stuff, and lot of wonderful natural materials are available. In fact, there is one more such products like our wood apple, elephant apple, it is called. Even the inside materials are all based on this chemical structure. So there are a lot of these things nature is presenting us in every part of the world, and we are not looking at it in the right way.
right. I'll put an article on that, simplify it
Yes.
and share it.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
there was one more person. She said that when she talks, she feels like a strain and pressure on the head, even as she is talking, and there is pain in the cramped calf. The calves get cramped at night when sleeping. So, and there is periodic pressure on the head every 15 days, indigestion during change of seasons. Winter to summer, the body gets heated and throat is dry. So what's all this going on? And she's
Yeah,
around.
there are. Yeah, she can actually choose either nervous protocol or hormone imbalance protocol. One of the two will fit her, and yeah, so she can start with nervous protocol. After 2 to 3 months, shift to hormone protocol. So by doing this alternately, she'll be happy in a matter of 8 months.
And then there is Manoj. Do you want to ask? Manoj is there. Do we have about 15 more minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes. I need to
So there was
attend
a
to some other
question.
thing.
What diet for this? This is there in the protocol for
Yeah.
ulcerative colitis. What foods to
Yes.
have and to avoid.
Yes.
This is in the. I'll share the protocol.
In fact, we have updated the protocol. Almost 80 or 100 protocols are available. In fact, if people just spend half an hour, they don't need to ask anyone. Everyone can figure out. Most of things are listed. And I hope in another 2, 3 years, we'll come up with another updated protocol, and almost everything will be in there.
Natural. Now, this you have spoken with Dr. Sarla about hair fall. There are a couple of questions, how to arrest hair fall. So this is
Yeah,
complicated, right?
basically, follow the hormone imbalance
Yeah.
protocol, and your water being completely damaged, and you need to make structured water. The structured water helps a lot. So how to make structured water, I'm sure it is there in the
It
literature.
is there. That's
Just,
awesome.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
art. And
So
you have a YouTube on that.
yes, yes. So YouTube video is there, and very simple. Actually, that's what I keep telling people. There are very simple solutions, but we want complicated issues solved in very complicated way. But I personally believe including complicated problems, have simple solutions. If only we are attuned to follow these simple methods.
Yes, we have to simplify our lives. That's what is missing.
Actually,
So
life is simple. We have
we
complicated
have to
it.
simplify our
So
life. We all.
yes.
And okay, there is one about
Yes.
cholesterol deposits
Yes.
around the eyes.
Connected to, you can follow ESR protocol. That will set you the things.
Yes, sir. Okay. And now there are more. One second. I'm sorry. I'm just scrolling.
That condition is called xylistama.
Okay. Then there is a question that says that this woman, she gets the day before her period starts, she gets severe headache, and her is related to her daughter. Also, daughter has menstrual cramps which are very painful, and
Just
she.
follow the hormone imbalance. Very simple. Hormone imbalance protocol. Yeah.
So another question, there's a 46-year-old woman who's losing muscle mass, especially in her thigh and upper arm area, making muscles loose and flabby, causing pain in knees, hips, and shoulders. Doctor's diagnosis is that's natural progression of age due to loss of or a human growth hormone. And so, what is the remedy?
Hormone imbalance again, basically. And follow it up with I think that hormone imbalance has got everything she has to do. She has to get the natural oils, Niger seed oil, coconut oil,
Okay.
and follow it up with maybe little sprouted moong dal once a week or twice a week. Steamed sprouted moong dal or chana dal, she has to consume a fistful once a week. Then her problems will be set right. What's
So
her age?
this one is 46.
Oh, she's not age. 46 is she, what kind of problem? I mean, ridiculous. She has to go for long walks and do some push-ups and eat these
Yeah.
things. 46 is not old. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a question which is there, you've already, the answer is there in the protocol, reversing Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's is
Yeah.
reversible, right? And
Yeah,
then,
a lot of people, lot of Parkinson's cases we have been helping, and I mean, to put it in a dramatic case, a person who could not sign properly because he's a rich person, he has to sign checks. He was not able to because every time he signs, his signature goes haywire. He cannot even hold the pen. So there has to be in India, there is this called a lawyer has to certify that it is him every time. So in a matter of 3 months, he was
wow,
driving his car and absolutely no problem. So
amazing.
following that protocol. So not
And
that everyone will be so dramatically helped, but he followed the system to the hilt and then he is helped. It may take 6 months or 1 year, depending upon each case. And of course, we also helped him with a particular homeopathic case, some medicine. And so there is no need for even homeopathy. Just follow the protocol. It's a matter of time, 6 months to 1 year, you will be surely helped. Yes.
what about macular degeneration?
Yeah, eye problem will
Yeah.
help. Absolutely. Many. In fact, retina pigmentosa, macular degeneration, all these things can be helped if not immediately, over a period of time. Yeah.
So there is some vitamin D which you have addressed related questions, like
Yes.
mushrooms, which do we keep the
Yes.
stalks of the mushroom? Do we throw them? Which part of the mushroom? I think the whole mushroom is fine, right?
All edible mushrooms, different kinds of mushroom. There are, I think, 8 kind of mushrooms that we can eat. So any mushroom that you get your hands on, please dry them in the sun when sun is available nicely for 2 to 3 days, and then store them in a bottle, glass bottle, where you can tightly airtight, so that they do not get attacked by again another kinds of fungus and things like that. So that's it. And you can use, actually this can be stored for a month or 2 or even 6-7 months if you do it properly. And you just need to soak them back for a period of 5-6 hours. Again, they regain, if not complete fresh, They almost look like fresh after soaking. And don't throw away the water. Use the water. If not directly, you can use in some other soup or somewhere else. You can. There are a lot of recipes you can make and eat. Yes, you
We
can
don't need
make
to have the,
wonderful.
sorry, we don't need the
Uh,
tablet, right? She says that if there's a tablet of
ah,
what is the optimal
Absolutely.
level,
You know,
14
you can.
mg per ml.
You can take the tablet till you get set. You start following the protocol, and then to slowly and steadily taper the medicine, and then get out.
So this, she's also asking, is it true that in the summers, if we make good amount of vitamin D by exposing in sun, the body can store it for winter?
Yeah, if you keep eating that, you will get the
Not
vitamin
just
D.
eating. She said if we expose ourselves to the
No,
sun
no, no, no,
in the
no, no, no,
summer.
no, no, no. That's not going to happen. It's a maximum of 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Your liver can store only that much. See, it's not having 10 by 10 room in the liver. It is a dynamic process. It can only store for maximum 2 to 3 weeks. So that's why you need to be exposed to sun regular.
So, and does walking on the treadmill for 90 days during winters manage glucose level in the blood? I don't know if that why in winter is important. So walking in the
Yeah,
treadmill.
yeah, treadmill is not a good thing according to me, because it can create a lot of shocks to your joints. What you can do basically, um, see, you are anyway walking on a treadmill. Just walk on the floor. Yeah, I mean, it's very simple. I don't understand why you need a machine. Or we have also got a lot of so-called yoga asanas which can help you. So you walk in the house where you are for some time, and I told you just hold your 2 ears and get up and sit
What?
for 15, yeah, squat and get up 15 minutes. Your glucose imbalance is going to be set right. So there are a lot of means and methods, whether you are in winter or summer. Even in summer in India, we cannot walk, it's so hot.
Yeah.
So you have to get up early in the morning and run. So you can manage the issue by not falling upon machines. You don't need machines to be healthy. You don't need machines. No
Right.
machine is required.
Now there is a woman who's inspired by you and is feeding her 9-month-old twin daughters millet,
Yes.
and
Yes.
she's asking, and they're doing well. So what should be fed to like 9-month-old babies, and
Yeah,
what is
coconut milk. Yeah, here in America, you can feed them pine nut milk. You can feed them if you have got good olive milk. So whatever oily seeds, you can soak them and make milk out of it, and keep feeding them. Coconut now is available everywhere. So you take fresh coconut milk is the best for kids. So initially for 2 to 3 months, give them fresh coconut milk, but don't get the packeted milk, even if it is coconut milk, because I am sure they are adding milk powder to these things because they produce enormous amounts of milk powder. These corporate companies are so unethical. They claim on the label something and what is inside is different. I'm 100% sure about it.
yeah.
So never ever get processed food for your kids, especially kids. Please make things by your hands. Let it be fresh as much as possible.
And she's also asking any specific food for immunity and cough and cold remedy to avoid medicines
Just not
for the
giving them
babies.
milk. Yeah, not giving them milk and sugar will make them immune strong. And coconut milk is very good. Pine nut milk is very good. And if they are able to get hold of maple syrup, pure maple syrup, in the northern hemisphere, it is one of the best sugar replacement. But it should be pure maple syrup. Sadly, the sugar industries are making maple syrup with sugar syrups. So be careful. That's all.
And you mentioned how is there a right way? How does one eat peanuts? You've talked about the right way of eating peanuts.
Yeah, peanuts have to be soaked first and then throw away the water, 3 to 4, and then you can dry them and then use in your recipes. See, the problem with peanuts, They have a lot of phytic acid, lot of things that can bother your tummy. So not only peanuts, any nuts. Say if you have got fresh organic nuts, you need to soak them in water, throw away the water first.
Yes, that's
And
what even
then,
I've heard. Soaking, you should soak on nuts, but I really never understood why is it so important to soak.
yes. And then soaking them gets into a different metabolic activity. See, people take dry nuts, roast them and eat. That's not a good thing. And many people say processed cashew nuts, badam, all are not good if you are eating them directly. And another important thing, these dry nuts are actually processed, lot of chemicals are around. So please avoid dry fruits which are processed and sold to you in this company, I mean, corporate thing. So if you get fresh badam which you have dried, it's good. Then you soak them, throw the water away, and then use in your recipes as you like. No problem.
Okay, and that's the traditional way of eating badam in India. Always soak at night, eat next day, five or
Yeah,
six.
but throw them away. Throw them out. Throw the water away
So the
and
question,
wash it well.
so
Yeah,
are the GMO peanuts as bad as GMO soybeans? And
absolutely.
and what about?
Anything, no GMOs. Please just check them out of your kitchen.
She's saying I started giving my 2-year-old peanut milk and curd, but not sure if I should continue.
Yeah, if you are not sure that the peanuts are natural, then don't.
So our
You go to pine. See, you in America, you have pine nuts, tons of it rolling on the roads everywhere. Just collect some pine nuts and then please, they need only 50 grams. You can make them happy for 2 days, 3 days. So go onto the roads, collect those pine nuts and then make pine nut milk and give. Don't even buy the pine nuts from the shops. You have so much
Yeah, I have to do
rolling.
that. I have to do that.
Yeah,
Bring
yeah.
the pine and open the pine, take out the nuts. I haven't done that yet.
You please do. It's very good for your fingers, and all these rheumatic fellows will be very much helped. So give them job. All the rheumatic patients, let them make pine nuts and provide to the people around. They will be helped by themselves and they will help the kids. Yes.
So are the sesame seeds also like treated like, do you think they are, we can buy them just straight like this, or do we soak them and use them? How should we?
No. Actually, sesame seeds are very simple things. People, they can sustain themselves. I mean, no need to have processing. Just sesame seeds by themselves are good. So you have to soak and then throw the water. Yeah, everything has to be soaked. And you want dry sesame seeds, soak, throw the water and dry them again and then use it. No problem.
You have mentioned, Dr. Khadar, about protein. Like we shouldn't be eating too much of protein also. Now,
Yes.
when we eat lentils, beans, how much should a normal person on a regular schedule, exercise schedule, be eating? And how much should a person who's exercising and at a higher level should be eating these plant proteins? How to determine the
No,
quantities?
there is no higher levels for anyone. Even if you are exercising, you don't need higher amount of protein. Everyone needs very small amount of protein, and that translates into fistful of any nuts that
Yes.
or any dicotyledons. Fistful is more than enough for a day or two. So even if you, that's it, a fistful.
Can you please mute yourself?
Oh my God.
So can we close the session?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we've pretty much reached all. Just one. Is there one more question related to this? Is there any food for endurance to build endurance? When you're
Millets,
exercising, you want to build
millets,
endurance.
millets.
Millets.
Get millets and get going. Get millets. There is no better food than that. You can. I have run marathons, lot of them, while I was a student and doing my PhD. And even I have noticed that if I eat foxtail millet 2 days, then I can go on and on and on. Absolutely no problems. Yeah. I mean, even walking, I can walk 10 hours, no problem. Even now, even now. In fact, the last week I went to a place where we wanted to this a fishtail palm we want to future to have all the fishtail palms. We are trying to locate gene pool which can give very good palm jaggery. And I walked and walked and walked. I mean, almost 100 acres. We just roamed the whole day, and people were falling. And I was again in the evening. I had to attend to a webinar. So it's you can go on and go on and on. Yeah, get millets and get going, guys. That's it.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you. Yes.
I have two daughters who are pregnant, due in February, and one of them had gestational diabetes on her during her first pregnancy. So she is worried about eating too many carbs, and so she doesn't want to eat carbs. So I told her about millets, and they are not very appealing to her. And I want to try to give her a low carb, high protein diet. And my other daughter is saying, she can also benefit from it. So if I can find out how we can cook millets or anything else better to make it taste more like rice, or any other carb, they would benefit from it. So maybe you can tell me how I can enrich my daughter's diet with higher protein.
Yeah, it's a wrong conception that you need higher protein. In fact, human beings do not need higher protein. You only need 6 to 8% of protein. And it is not the carbs that are doing the problem. It is the high dose of carbs that are released directly into the blood. The choice of rice and wheat is the problem. So there are many grains containing carbohydrate almost to the same extent, but they do not release the carbohydrates into the blood in a sudden and flood-like manner. And that's what these 5 millets do for you. What are the 5 millets? Kodo, Little, Foxtail, Barnyard, and Brown Top. These 5 grains have high fiber content compared to the other grains, and they aid in releasing the glucose in a slow and steady fashion. It is not that carbohydrates are not necessary for human race. In fact, before the grain culture, that is eating the grains, started, the human race had a lot of nutritional problems because they were not getting enough energy even for the carbohydrates to be burnt in the cells and produce energy. So they didn't even have the energy to move around properly. Many people died. So only after the human race hit upon the idea of carbohydrates, maybe in the form of tubers, in the form of grains, in the form of many other fruits and things like that. Only when the carbohydrates started flowing into the blood in the form of glucose after the digestion, the human beings started, in fact, really moving around. So eating without carbohydrates will trouble you. And this high protein business is only there last 10, maybe 20 years of the things. And without carbohydrates, it is the glucose that has to be burnt, and you have to convert anything and everything if you want to live to glucose. And glucose is the monomer of all these carbohydrates. So it's a wrong notion that is being built in this so-called scientific Western world that you need protein, you need protein. It's all business. This soybean, this meat industries are creating this absolute unnecessary scientific myths. I use the word scientific myths because they are not facts. And in fact, it is the high protein that can cause cancer. We have figured out in our clinic for the last 20 years, it is the high proteins that trouble. Even they are plant proteins. You should not be having too much protein in your diet. So it is the slow release of carbohydrates that is to be regulated, which we have forgotten. And all over the world, the whole world has eaten the grains, especially the grains that I'm talking about, where the glucose release has been slow and steady. And this particular scientific fact has been missed by the so-called Western scientific community because they are only bothered about selling what they can make. And that is meat and soya and corn, this kind of stuff. So it is a wrong notion that you need high protein and low carbs. It is not the low carbs, high carbs. It is how you release the carbs into your blood. And that system has been figured out in this particular part of our country, and we have done that, and we have had tremendous means it's beyond someone's expectations that all these problems are solved by releasing the carbohydrates slowly and steadily into your blood. So if you start eating these 5 millets and your problems are solved. Gestational diabetes is just not there at all. It is a created problem by the present day human race. Absolutely unscientific way of eating. That's what is the problem. And in fact, high content of protein can disturb the important endocrine system. That is, people are not understanding that there is a heavy duty connection between the endocrine glands and the high content of protein in your body. And it's an important aspect which people have not worked at all. And secondly, the slow release of glucose, maintaining the HbA1c below 7 is the ultimate healthy way of doing things. And that can be achieved by eating millets. And sadly, people are used to this not having any fiber at all, this rice and wheat. And so you're all used to this. Your tongue is used to the taste of this pure carbohydrates or protein. And you're all in trouble because you think having fiber in the millets is what is not allowing me to eat. But there is a simple technique because and your Zomato culture, you are getting the food into the kitchen or eating on the road, eating anywhere and everywhere, actually are the main causes of your problems. So if you can cook your food properly, and in that regard, we have had wonderful videos of how to cook millet. And my daughter, Dr. Sarla, has been posting very tasty ways of cooking millets in the last 15 weeks. So just following that Millet Magic Dr. Sarala YouTube channel, you can make all wonderful tasty food with millets and you don't need to go anywhere else. So please do follow that and make very tasty. You can make even your biryanis. Of course, don't use meat. And so we will come into that part of understanding later. But the question to your daughter's problem is very simple. And it's a matter of 3 days or 4 days. You follow the Millet Magic Dr. Sarla YouTube channel. You will make wonderful, tasty millet food items and your problems are solved and your gestational diabetes will disappear in a matter of 15 days.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you. I actually have bought this millet khichdi.
Yeah.
I'm going to experiment. I'm going to try to make it millet khichdi to see if she likes that taste.
No, it's very simple. Just spend 3 days. You will produce very tasty millet food and follow that Dr. Sarla Millet Magic. And there are many good cooks in among my friends in America. So you can contact them and get this problem done with.
Our own Chavi has been giving us good recipes also.
Yeah.
I've been following Chavi a lot.
Dr. Raju and his wife are wonderful cooks. I mean, Swarna in Houston and his daughters are also beautiful cooks. I mean, they cook fantastic food.
Thank you, doctor.
Okay, Anima, there is another, partly a little bit you are familiar with this case. So this is a 13-year-old girl who had some growth in her pancreas. And so she had to have that surgically removed along with a stomach valve. Are you there, Anima? If you want to talk directly, you can ask questions directly, your questions.
Yeah, so the biggest issue that we are facing right now is we are almost at 1 year past her surgery. And she's been recovering, but the recovery has been slow. We recently removed gluten and dairy from her diet. And we removed some cruciferous vegetables and nightshades as well, just to figure out what's causing her back pains, occasional stomach pain. She has chronic constipation. No matter how much vegetables and raw vegetables I give her, that doesn't seem to go away. And she has inflammation as well. Sometimes her joints stiffen up, and she complains of pain that moves all over in her body. That's the current problem that we are facing.
Yeah, very simple. Basically, most of the American kids and including you people are all microbially imbalanced. I will let you know in my small lecture after 5:30 that human race is suffering from three important imbalances. That is microbial imbalance, glucose imbalance, and hormone imbalance. And most of the digest system problems are related to microbial imbalance. Of course, all are connected. All are connected. There's nothing like one is independent of the other. All these three imbalances are there to some extent or the other in each and every individual present today, living fellows all over the planet, basically. So if you could just use brown top millet, I mean, coming specifically to your question, I know there is a lot of damage done in the form of surgeries. We do not know where these guys have cut and thrown and import. We really don't know how the system is being kept in order or not also. But all said and done, you can just start off with ambali. Ambali, we mean porridge, fermented porridge, which actually re-establishes the gut microbes in your system. So all your problems, according to me, are connected to the mostly, not that hormone balance is there in your daughter, because there's a lot of issues connected to hormone imbalance, which are actually connected to microbial imbalance. So if you can get microbial balance of your daughter's gut, many problems will be solved. There is no individual problem being solved. See, the constipation is one of the most important things that you need to solve. So you see, this is also another important thing. See, people think it is just fiber that is required for having good motions, good stools. That's not true. It's a lot of balance is required. And without microbial balance in your gut, nothing will happen properly, because it is the transition from many biochemical processes. And these are the guys which guide myriad of biochemical reactions in the particular regulated and intended way. And what is this intended? The intention and the objective of all biochemical processes such that there is a smooth and an eased condition in the system as a whole, So everything is important, everything is connected, and you need to understand this. So these guys, these so-called doctors, keep on removing the part by part and think that they can adjust and manage. And only they can do that much. They cannot create wellness to the system, because they will leave some discomfort or the other if they start meddling with the whole system. So we need to bring back now, according to my understanding, I personally believe you need to make brown top millet porridge fermented and start feeding her on a regular basis, at least 2 or 3 times. Most of your problems will be solved. Once the constipation problem is solved, then all these pains will start relieving, because the gas that is generated unnecessarily is filling different parts of the body and then creating havoc. So to start with, step by step, don't feed her all kinds of things and start feeding her porridge, fermented porridge, for at least 1 or 2 weeks completely. And all the nutrients that are available in this 5 grains are good enough to serve her. So essentially, you make 3 days a week brown top millet porridge fermented, and the remaining 4 grains 1 day each fermented porridge. And how to make it, how to cook it, detailed video is presented in Millet Magic. So please follow that. and start doing things, I'm sure in a matter of 4 to 5 weeks, your daughter will start getting semblance of being well.
Dr. Khadar,
She doesn't have.
okay, go. You can ask any about millet. You can ask directly about the way, the room temperature and the other concerns you had.
So she doesn't have the stomach acid also. She takes some medication to suppress that. Will that be an issue digesting millets?
No, there is no issue at all, as fermented porridge is the easiest to be digested.
And if she doesn't like the taste of the fermented millets, can I give her in some other way, like just cooked and warm? Since it's cold here in Boston, the room temperature might not be warm enough for her.
There are incubators. You can actually keep your porridge at the temperatures between 26 and 31 degrees centigrade, and then give her.
Can I put it like in a blanket and put it in the oven?
No.
on
America has a lot of incubators. You just buy you have to buy a
Okay.
small unit.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So you're saying I should give her just millets and that's it, no vegetables, nothing else for.
Yeah, you can give her. You can give her, but this should be her main food, and it is quite tasty. You can add little salt or pepper or whatever. You can garnish the taste that she wants. This is a bland thing, so you can adjust the taste, whatever taste she wants. You can even add palm jaggery, make it sweet if you want to. Whatever way you want, you can.
Just want to add to that, my kids normally they add sometimes some peanut butter to that, and then add some fruit and made a nice smoothie. Then I eat sometimes. I actually add dahi and eat, and then I also add sambar and eat. It's up to you. However you want to make it tasty, add some nice Thai curry and add it and eat.
Yeah.
But you cannot make it warm, otherwise the microbes will die. Is that true?
Yeah, you keep it between 26 and 31. What is it? What is it problem? What's your problem? I told you, take an incubator and don't eat hot food. Hot food is not good for you. That temperature is the right temperature. And why are you bothered about cold and hot? Just eat that particular temperature range.
So that's not room. It's warmer than room temperature.
Yeah.
So that she should be comfortable.
Okay.
And if you're bothered about that, then warm the water and then keep the steel vessel that porridge is there. Keep it in that. Don't heat it directly. That's all. You can have double. It's called water bath method, or double boiling, or whatever some
double
terms people use. Yeah, double boil.
So
you can have
around 75 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit, close to that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
you guys are foreign heat fellows. Yeah, so you are around 85. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's good enough then. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, Reenu, you can ask your question. This is about Reenu's mother. She can introduce the problem.
Hello, Dr. Khadar. It's such a privilege to be able to actually talk to you. Can you hear me all right?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. No. So I will, my mom is also on the grid. Her name is Pushp, and she's 76 years old. And recently, 2.5 months, less than that, we discovered she has third stage cancer in her breast that has metastasized into her lymph nodes. But in addition, she has another primary, which is the lung cancer.
Yeah.
So, but if you can see her, Mom, can you say hello? I don't think.
Yeah, she's okay.
Yeah, she's on. But I was wanting to be able to see you to see her. But somehow we had heard so many cases about you, consulting with cancer patients. And I read your protocol. But since she has two primaries, being the lung and the breast, the method of Ambali was different.
What is troubling her right now?
Actually, she's asymptomatic, so she does have a little cough. Other than that, there is, fatigue and all of that. But
I would choose lung cancer protocol and follow that clearly for 3 to 6 months. and mostly that will settle down all her issues.
So is there a way we should consult you because it's third stage and it has
Oh, it
metastasized?
does. No. It doesn't matter with third stage or fourth stage. Once the system kicks in, and things will be only upward. So nothing to worry. Just
So,
start
so
the lung cancer protocol sincerely, and you will start seeing the benefits. Yeah.
and when she does the lung cancer protocol, can
Yeah.
she eat other vegetables and dal
Oh
along?
yes. Yeah. All vegetables. Yes. One first thing is you should not touch meat. Okay. No
She
animal
doesn't.
protein,
She doesn't eat meat.
including the milk. Okay. Including the milk. So
Okay.
you can have buttermilk. You can have. I personally don't like curds. You have to add little water. Don't eat uh, stiff curd that you make. So eat a little watery curds. Okay, that's the only thing. And then you can add all vegetables. Absolutely nothing to worry. And we will send you a PDF to Chavi Chavla Ambali. You can create hundreds of tastes with porridge, fermented porridge.
But with the fermented porridge, she can only have the khichdi, or she can make something else for the first 6 weeks. Or you said 6 months.
No. 6 weeks only ambali as your
Okay.
base food, and then
Okay.
don't try khichdi, idli, dosa. All that comes after 6 weeks. You can eat
Okay.
all of that without any problem.
Okay.
Your base food, but you can create tasty ambali with various supplements like sambar, this, that, all that. And
Got
I'll
it.
send you a PDF. You can every detailed prescriptions are there. No problem.
And if the drinks along with that, because I read it said you cannot have any tea or something, but you had given concoctions of parijat and guava. What is the
Absolutely.
best? Because she's based in Chandigarh, and with COVID, what is the best way? Because there is some powders that's available online. Are
No,
they
no,
good?
no, 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 no,
No.
no, 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 no.
Oh.
See, Chandigarh, no problem. You have Harshingar, you have Amrutpal ka patta, you have people tree. These are the three basic, and then
Harshingar,
haldi,
yes?
haldi and ginger. So all of them are available. Absolutely, no problem.
Harshingar, you said, what is Harshingar?
Is Parijat.
Parijat.
Parijat. Okay, so no powders or anything. Just
Absolutely no.
I can
Yeah,
actually,
fresh.
I can give you links where you can buy the plants in India. There are several nurseries that are selling it offline. Either you talk to Chevi or Chevi will give you my number. I can help you where you can buy in India.
that would be
No,
super. It will be so helpful.
Chandigarh, I have gone there. I have had a session, and it is available freely because just a day before yesterday, I had a call from Patiala and Chandigarh. I had a session, private sessions. Some big shots had same cancers and all. It is available on the roads. I mean, Parijat, you go to a temple or some place. Parijat, Harshingar is a very common plant, and people trees anyone can get.
People and guava
And
is okay.
that's it. And then you need haldi and you need ginger, I think, for lung protocol. So that your problem is not absolutely no problems.
Right. No, just because her case is so complicated and we are, at our wits' end.
And
So
believe me, all cases are complicated, especially once you say the word cancer. And you don't need to worry. The protocols are actually diligently listed, and we have worked with lot of cases, hundreds of cases, that the book contains the information for people who cannot consult me. The people who cannot consult me, and we have been working very diligently updating the things, connecting to the problems. People come back, and so we are trying to include all those problems enlisted by our patients. It's an ongoing process. So we keep enlisting and updating the protocols, books, everything we are doing. In fact, recently we have updated a small booklet of 30 pages. And the background information we have created is enormous amount of it's present. So I request people to go through the literature. The problem is people are not willing to just read those 2-3 books.
Right.
And yeah, everything, if I give banana to the patient, they are asking me peel it and then keep it in my mouth, and that is the problem.
Okay.
And
So,
Hara
but
Singara is also is called in Punjabi language called Laduri or Pakura.
Pakura?
Laduri, Laduri or Pakura, Pakura. But
One last question, doctor. If we were to book an appointment and come and see you, the best way is to call that number and book an appointment?
Absolutely, come. And if people are making that much effort, we are generally giving, accommodating them in your travel plans. If you are saying, you know that you're coming in February, you could contact us. We can keep an aside a 45-minute time for you.
Okay. And if
you cannot get the appointment on the prescribed time, you can contact us later. But please, December 27th, we are giving appointments for January and February. 6 o'clock.
I wanted to ask, my cousin has CBS. Is that curable?
Which is that?
CBS, corticobasal syndrome.
Absolutely. That's connected to hormone imbalance, and there is a protocol clearly mentioned in the booklet that we have updated. You follow the hormone imbalance protocol and you should be fine. Absolutely. It's a very small problem. How long depends on...
what is the timeline? Right now he's not able to walk. He's on a wheelchair. So
I know whatever it is, how long depends on each individual patient and how well you follow the protocol. So depends. One thing is for sure, you can certainly keep getting better and better. Yeah.
Okay, and what protocol he has to follow? Should he consult you online? I mean, should he take an appointment with you? He lives in San Francisco.
Yeah, hormone imbalance protocol. Hormone imbalance protocol.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you, Dr.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.